Hey folks, Ryan Walker, Ozark Smallmouth Alliance, and we're coming to you with another OSA 101 fly tying video. This time, it's going to be Ehlers Grim Reaper, but with an OSA twist. So this really is in the summertime in still water, especially big, bouldery, rocky water that we have here in the Ozarks. This is really one of my favorite flies. And I put the air quotes up there because this thing really kind of blurs the line between a lure or a jig and a fly. If you're out with a buddy and you're fly fishing and he's fishing a Ned rig and he's 3-to-1 in you, switch over to this fly the way that we tie it, and you'll catch back up pretty quick. Casts like a how does it cast? Casts like a small, like you've got a small animal at the end of your fly line. Hits the water pretty hard and sinks really fast. But when it's on the bottom, it's straight up like that, and you can imagine what that rubber leg and silly leg looks like when it's floating on the bottom. Great fly. It's not one of those aggressive whack, I'm gonna rip your arm off strikes. It's more of a, hey, look at this, looks good to eat, I'm gonna pick it up and swim off with it. I tie this in a bunch of different colors. This one's in PB&J, and that's what we're going to be doing today is in PB&J. And so I also tie it in green pumpkin. I tie it in a couple of different browns and yellows. There's a really cool way to tie it in fire tiger, which is one of my favorite colors as well. Either way, this is not, in my opinion, this is not a riffle fly. This is a plunge pool and or slow water pool fly with big chunk rock, and somewhere that you're going to find fish eating hellgrammites or damselfly nymphs or crayfish or whatever they think this thing looks like. Who knows? But either way, saved my bacon a couple of times last summer, didn't it, Max and Nikki? They remember. Dale House, you were there too. You remember that trip that we had. So anyway, hope you enjoy these things. Here we go. All right, so the materials list for this one's fairly straightforward. There's not that many materials in it. So I'm using a 60-degree jig hook from Gamakatsu. I think this is a 29-111. This particular one's in a 1/0. Some polar chenille to match. Silly legs, rubber legs to match as well. Lead eyes to match. Whatever color scheme you're doing. Fly rattles. Any fly shop should have these. These came from Plateau, of course. These are the standard size. I use the small and the standard. On a 1/0 hook, I use the standard. It's a little bit bigger. For a neck and a collar, I'm using Ice Dub and UV Purple. Again, match your color scheme. And some mop chenille to replace that little leather flappy tail that Ehlers uses in his Reaper. So real simple, real straightforward materials list, and we're going to start it by tying in the rattle. So I always tie the rattle with that little nipple pointing down. And then take your thread back to the back, turn the fly over. Next step is to get our tail on there with the mop chenille. Remember, you're going to double it over, so get it to the length you want it. Get that bound down really good. Move your thread forward a little bit. Now, pretty important step. We're going to twist this mop chenille up real tight. The rubber leg thing is just what you want to use. I'm going to use a whole one. I'm going to double it up and then just cut it in half. It's just easier for me. Some people like them sparser. Some people like them, some people want them lots of movement. But I'm just going to double that up on that collar. Bound it down. Trim it. Final step before we finish her off, get you some ice dub. A few half hitches. Bit of that. Dab a zap gap. And there we got it. Ehlers Reaper. Again, you can trim that skirt to whatever length you want it. I'll probably end up trimming that a little bit shorter than the tail, just so it floats nicely. Super easy fly, super effective fly. Again, kind of blurring the lines between jig, lure, and fly. But I cast it on fly rod, therefore it's a fly. Folks, we really hope you enjoy these fly tying videos. We sure love making them for you. My good buddy Tim Tower, he's got another one in the queue and should have it up next week. Keep watching. Come to our fly tying events. Next one is February 2nd at White River Brewing. Going to be doing Woolly Booger 3-ways with our good buddy Tyrone Ingram from Plateau. And he's going to show you 3 or 4 different ways to do a Woolly Booger. Got the trout opener about a month and a half away, so just in time for that. $10, get you a beer, all your materials, and a really good time. If you haven't been to one, they are a ton of fun. Come see us. We love you all. Thank you so much for everything you allow us to do. Ryan Walker, Ozark Smallmouth Alliance, free the fighter.